Welcome to Backwater Casting. I'm your host, Rick Greene. Today we're fishing in Woodstock, New Brunswick for smallmouth bass. My guest today is Brian Gray from Miramichi Sport Fishing, and he guides for striped bass on the Miramichi, but today we're giving him a crack at some smallmouth here in Woodstock. Brian caught on really fast and he caught more than his share of fish today. Fish. Decent. That's not a bad way to start the morning off, eh? I said we're gonna start fishing as we come under that bridge, and there he was. So that is on a jerk bait. Let's have a look at you, buddy. And up you come. It's a little heavier than I thought. But that's a great start. Right under the town bridge in Woodstock. 1 cent in gas to get here. That fish was a high 2.
Got a tube on.
Something on the other end of that tube.
A nice smallmouth. Good start to the day. We've only been fishing for 5 minutes.
He might even be bigger than mine.
Dandy fish. Dandy fish.
He might. We get a picture of your first one of the day.
Lovely. It's a nice start to the morning right there. Pretty happy about that right there.
5 minutes into the day, we both got one.
Can't beat it.
There's a picture.
Could be the first fish I ever caught on a tube.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, good one. Good start. That felt good too.
Yeah, I got a nice 2.5 pound on a tube. First time I ever fished a tube, and it worked good. We were only fishing for 5 minutes and ended up with a nice 2.5 pounder. That was a good start to the morning. They say a crawfish color, you can't beat that either, eh?
Yeah, the craws change color during the year.
Okay.
There he goes. I guess he's a little bit smaller than my first one, but not a lot. They all got attitude. Doesn't matter how big they are, they all got attitude.
Oh, they're a great fighting fish.
Yeah, they don't come up till they're ready to come up. You gotta, come on, wear them out a little bit. So I was losing a lot of fish this year on a 2/0, and I dropped down to a 1/0, and I've hardly lost any. It just seems to catch them right in the corner of the mouth.
Yeah.
It's a gammy drop shot hook. Yeah,
that's not a bad fish.
No, he's good.
Now's my chance to get a hit.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just dragging that drop shot across that ledge down there. It must have nicked it. But there's a nice thing about the fishery up here. I mean, we've caught 3 smallmouth that just come up to a foot. You see that come up on your graph in a second. That just came up to 1 foot.
That can take a pretty good day and turn it into
I got my motor out of the water.
Yeah.
This one feels like it's a similar size. I think, like, I saw him jump, and this would be 6 bites, and they all seem to be in that mid 2 pound range. Yeah, he's maybe in the high 2 pound range.
Yeah, he's the bigger one of the bunch, I would say. Just had a bite while you had that one on.
Yeah, there's a bit of the ledge kind of comes off that on an angle across there, and I've done actually well sitting over there, throwing that way and bringing it down with the current, but we don't really have any current this morning. There he is. That's a nice fish. I'm not going to flip that guy.
Want a net?
Yeah, I think I will, please. Thank you, sir. That's good. There's a crayfish right there, bud. There's your color.
Just like such, eh? Yes, sir.
He's alive. Yeah. Look at the legs going. So that fish just spit that crayfish up, and that crayfish is alive.
Yeah. Nice.
You see the legs moving.
You just saved that crayfish from his demise right there.
Now another one will eat him. He doesn't seem like he's real enthused. He hasn't tried to pinch me.
He's not long for this world, I don't
Probably
think.
not.
Nice fish, Rick.
I was going to say he's 3, but he's probably in that 212 range. Still a beautiful fish. On the measure board, if they hit the bottom of this board, yeah, he's about a 212. It goes to show you these fish are on the fall feed. That crayfish was still moving in my hand, and legs and stuff were moving. So he hadn't been in that, that smallmouth gullet for very long, and yet he still hit a 5-inch soft plastic bait on my drop shot rod. So I mean, when they're on the feed bag, they're eating.
When I come smallmouth fishing, every time I learn something new.
What a great place to bring kids this time of year. And you can come down here. We're still sitting right here at the town bridge, right on Main Street in Woodstock. And what's this, Brian? 5?
Had 2 come off for sure.
And these are solid.
I got one on now too.
Oh, there we got a first double header of the day.
Oh, that's a nice fish too.
Cool.
This is a nice rod. Yeah.
I don't think I want to flip him either. Ha ha! Hey, fatty. Hey, fall fatty.
That's a beauty right there. Another nice 2.5 pounds, Rick. Probably right handy to there. 2.3, 2.4.
Twins. There we go. So, one thing I'm going to say is, I drop them in like that. The reason, now if I had a really, really tired fish, that's exactly what I would do. But I remember reading earlier on, they were talking about bass management in the States. And Ray Scott, who developed tournament fishing, he said dropping them is almost like torpedoing them down, and it gets them heading for the bottom. So that's why I dropped mine.
That was a really good fight. Like, that's what I like about smallmouth. Every one of them thinks they're bigger than they are. It's just a new fishery to me, but I was hooked on it after the first day. This is the first spot I ever came, was to Woodstock last year. Me and a friend of mine just brought the boat over and went to Heartland Bridge and fished every bridge pillar and rock pile we could find on the way down, and we got 20 fish that day, and we probably would have had a bag of 16 pounds or so, like, which I thought was pretty good for two guys who've never. We showed up with striper gear, 30 and 40 pound braided line and some flukes, and that
16
was it.
pounds is good for guys who know what they're doing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
so
it
for
was
first time out.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
This corner can be good sometimes.
Yeah,
It's hard to tell with the wind if there's actually any river current going. Oh, yeah, he is a nice one.
yeah. I probably should net him, eh?
I'll get him. I can net him. He tried to go under the trolling motor. Yeah, he looks all right.
That's a dandy fish.
Oh, he looks okay. Hey, they're all good. Some of them are just bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, not going to win a tournament up here in the fall with these, but you wouldn't be unhappy to have 5 of those in the boat.
You're not going to finish last with 5 of those. Hang up the tube for a bit and try this jerkbait. All I know is it got three treble hooks on it. I figure I better give one of these a try. Yeah. That's a dandy.
Yeah, you watch your fingers with that. There is a white gripper down there if you'd rather do that.
Oh, sorry, just let her go then. I was just getting ready to pull the lure out of the water, and he came out of nowhere and hit that hard. Nice fish too. Nice, followed that right up. I don't know how long he followed it for, but that is a beautiful fish right there. And I'm guessing he's roughly the same size as all the ones we've been catching, eh?
He's a
2.
upper mid 2.
Yeah.
He's got a dark spot on his belly there.
Birthmark, maybe.
Yeah, birthmark. Is that your first jerkbait fish?
First
There you
jerkbait
go.
fish in the
First
boat.
tube fish, first jerkbait fish, you're off to a flying start.
This is a great experience right here.
You ever caught one on a drop shot?
Not yet.
Oh, we'll get that fixed up shortly. You get a whole bunch of firsts today.
Rick, on these jerkbaits with the 3 treble hooks on them, you ever get 2 fish at one time on one bait like that?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, yeah, you do. It's probably not what you call a regular occurrence, but it does happen often enough. I mean, the first time I threw that bait, I got 2 3-pounders on it. The reason that you can do that is the fish are very aggressive, and when they're feeding, you know, you got one, I want one, and they try and take it from the other guy, and then you end up with them both. They're very competitive. I mean, it's all about who eats. That's a nice fish right there. So far, this one would be a keeper for the day. Let's have a look at you. Oops. Whoops. Tail walker. Yeah, no, nothing wrong with that.
It's a nice fish.
Yeah. Good one.
The wind is moving us quick, eh?
Yeah, I just gotta keep stomping on the trolling motor. That was a high 2 or a light 3, one or the other. He was solid, he had a big broad body to him. Netter? Yep.
It wouldn't hurt. Yeah.
Wouldn't hurt, no.
Better safe than sorry. Not a bad fish at all.
She's gonna grind again, I just put her down.
Thank you kindly. Could be my bigger one of the day, not sure. No, she's right in there with the rest of them, I think. 2, wouldn't be much more than 2, I don't think, eh?
He's 2 1/4 probably.
2 1/4,
He's
yeah.
chunky.
It's a nice fish. It's a real nice fish. Here you go, boy. See you next spring.
Welcome back to Backwater Casting. We're continuing to catch a bunch of smallmouth bass here with Brian, and we're going to chat with him a little bit about his guide service on the Miramichi. We've got 15 feet of water, and we're quite a ways offshore, and I'm just walking this sinker down that drop. So far I've been about halfway back to the boat, so the fish are probably sitting in 9 foot of water. For some reason, that's their spot they're on today, because we haven't caught any in tight. Brian was throwing the jerk bait up on the bank, and they weren't really hitting that at all. So we're just going to try this for a few minutes. Again, I'm just tossing her in. First drop shot fish. Scoot in there and see if we can make it another daily double.
No, just a small.
1.5.
1.5.
112.
Just a small one. But a fish is a fish. I think I got the small one of the day for sure. So far, anyway. Should let him go. I own Miramichi Sport Fishing. It's just myself, and basically striped bass is my biggest draw for clients. There was a demand on the river at home because we have such a strong striped bass population there that for guides, there was always a demand for guides. The COVID this year kind of slowed things down. We had clients booked from California, a lot from Quebec and stuff, but nobody could come into the province due to the COVID. But it's been good.
So, I mean, you've been guiding pretty steady. The fall bites on. So, what's your best day in the last couple of weeks up there?
The weekend we just had, we got 162 fish in 5 hours on Sunday.
You absolutely can't say anything about that.
No.
That's just absolutely outstanding.
You can't complain. In the
No.
spring fishing, I had 2 fellas out and they got 202 fish one day. And that's unbelievable. That's phenomenal fishing, really.
It's beyond world class.
It's beyond, that's a good way to put it, beyond world class.
World class. Typically up there in the springtime, and it's basically been all artificials for me, big flukes and sand eels and stuff like that. But I understand it's better now on bait this time of year. So do you use a hook or multiple hooks? How's that work?
Usually we use a 2-rig setup, like a 2-hook setup. It's got 4-ounce weight in the bottom, and about 8 inches up it has a hook. Another foot above that has another hook on it. And we put pieces of mackerel, smelt, or herring on it. I enjoy what I do. You meet a lot of good people.
Oh yeah, nice one. I'll have a net. Oh yeah, there's my big one. That's my biggest one so far today. That is so rare with these baits. Well, he's not bad though. There we go. Yeah, nice. That's a chunk right there. He looked like, they always look bigger when you first put them in the boat, but it's over 3, which is great fish. It actually usually starts the best right there by that dirt from there up.
Yeah, I don't flirt around with no kids fishing.
See there, that's what I get for mocking your fish.
You know, not a bad fish at all. Little fella. Just got that fish on a wacky rig drop shot with a 1/2 ounce weight. Today's the first day today actually fishing a drop shot. The smallmouth fishing's all new to me anyways, but I like it. I really enjoy it. It's produced just as many fish for me today as anything else we've used. I got another smallmouth on, not a monster, but it's pretty good. Oh, it's not bad. Perfect. Healthy looking, eh? Nice looking fish. Much marks on him.
Yeah. Chunky, isn't he?
Yeah.
Like he's quite broad for like deep down for the length of him.
He's kind of built like me. Just as easy to go over top of him as around him. Nice fish. That's how I go.
For a first, this is my first crankbait fish in New Brunswick this year. I don't think I've fished a crankbait all year. That's the second cast with a crankbait. He's a nice fish too. He's definitely a netter. Whoa, get in there. Yeah, I'll take it. He looked bigger, but I'll take him. There we go. Oh, look at that. Even got a leaf. Yeah. There. It's been a dry spell, so that was a welcome break.
What's the difference between a crankbait and a jerkbait?
Well, basically with the jerk bait, as we were doing earlier this morning, you set it out there, you give it a couple of twitches and it goes down and suspends, let it sit for a sec, jerk it again, just flashes and rolls in the water. This thing, this will dive, this is probably diving about 5.5, 6 feet, little Fire Tiger crankbait, and it's just a straight throw it and wind it back to the boat. Sometimes, you know, a little stop and go in the retrieve might trigger a bite, but with them I basically just keep them coming. And I went with that bright color because it's such a dull day. So there's something a little bright to it.
I'm gonna hang up the drop shot for a bit. I'm gonna haul the jerkbait back in. Got another nice St. John River smallmouth here. Feisty fella too.
A net on him.
No great size to him, but he's making his presence known.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
Not a bad fish, no.
No, another jerkbait fish.
Thank you kindly.
Well, Brian, with the COVID-19 virus this year and you know all of the big upsets and people working and everything, how's that affected Miramichi sport fishing this year?
With the COVID, what happened this year, we lost a lot of clients. Not a lot of clients, but we did have some that were coming from California. There was a lot from Quebec. They weren't able to make it due to the COVID restrictions. And but business was not down substantially due to the COVID. It seemed like a lot of, after we got the regulations in place and what we could do on the boat with the social distancing and masks and everything, there was a lot of almost like stay vacations. Ended up with a lot of people from the province coming to try bass fishing for the first time because they hadn't done anything for months.
Well, I got a little fish, so Brian's got one on too at the back of the boat. Now, I will say, he doesn't have to be real big to be bigger than this.
I think he's bigger than that. I think he's a little bigger, but maybe not much more. He's got a little more girth in this lad.
Ooh. What do you got?
I don't know if he's any bigger.
Boys, I don't know.
I don't know either.
Mine was bigger.
Was yours bigger?
Well, have to be. I can't show it to you. So.
I think it was worth the change right here, yeah. As for right now.
That was better. That was a good choice to switch to the crankbait. I must have thought there was a necessity because I tied it on. He actually seemed a bit bigger. Come here, sweetie. Ah. Yeah. Anyway, nice St. John River smallmouth. Fish on crankbait style.
Not a bad fish either.
Cranky fish on a crankbait.
Nice fish.
There you go. I wonder what other magic I got in the boat for you.
First fish on a crankbait. Right there. Nice looking fish.
That was a hit.
Nice looking fish.
I'm in. This feels like a non-monster. A non-monster. But I haven't caught one for a while, so I'll take them.
We got a double.
There we go, double header.
Mine feels a little better than that.
I was just going to say, Brian's been thrashing me for the last hour, so I'll take anything at all, and then he gets a double with me.
Oh yeah, this is a better fish.
I didn't see any point in humiliating myself any further.
He's not the biggest one of the day, but he's
Oh, on the jerkbait too. Good man.
Yeah. Not a bad fish at all.
Yeah, I'll take. Hang on to that. I just want to get a picture. You're good.
Nice fish.
Solid
right there.
fish.
Yep.
Solid.
Respectable fish right there. Can't beat him. Big old boy.
There he is. There he is. Oh. Yeah, and the wind, I'm not feeling them until I really try and tighten that line up. Right in the roof of the mouth where it belongs. I couldn't get it out by pushing on it, but as soon as I touched it, it come out. Not a monster, but he gave a good accounting of himself. He fought good.
Come on, you little scamp.
Oh, he went under.
Super.
That feels heavy enough.
It's a nice fish, yeah. Cost me a Cinco, but I think that's my biggest one of today. I'm pretty sure.
He might be. You had a couple of good ones earlier. Sanko.
Here you go, old boy. It's windy enough and rough out here, so I thought I would go back to a drop shot. Rick has a fish on there.
2-pounder.
And I'm just, being the wind's taking us along at almost a mile an hour, half a mile an hour, I'm just putting the drop shot out there.
Somebody's caught him before too. He's been caught before, which is proof positive that catch and release does work. Gone.
Feisty little fella, too.
He's bigger than mine. He might even be my guy's mama. Still a double.
Still a double.
Still a double.
Nice fish right there. Appreciate that.
Pretty amazing, isn't it? I mean, that bait, that's a fairly significant sized piece of hardware for that guy to chomp on. And he's got, I can't see what he's got in there, but I mean, he's got a whole gullet full of food there. I can see it's poking out the top of his stomach.
Oh, not a bad fish. Come on, you.
Oh, he's bigger than I thought he was. I was going to pick on you.
Bigger than I thought he was also, yeah.
Don't flip him.
No. I'm saving your tip. Not a bad little scamp.
What do you get? Yeah, nice.
Very best of a fish. On a jerkbait.
I think he's a little smaller than the one Brian just had. They are tough. Holy smokes. Brian's was twice as big. Yeah. Anyway, we're right back where we started this morning. The bridge is right there. I got this little guy. Brian just put one back that was twice as big. Well, Brian, it's been a real pleasure having you come down. That's a long haul down from Miramichi and away from your guide business for a day, but give you a chance to see a little bit different on the other side of the province. As much as Miramichi River, Miramichi City is the striped bass capital probably of North America, this is one of the best spots for smallmouth bass. So we kind of got the best of both places going on here in New Brunswick, and great fun to have you down here today.
I really appreciate you guys asking me to come down. I thoroughly enjoyed my trip down here today. I love smallmouth fishing, and I'll be back for sure.
Yeah, well, we'll be back to the Miramichi too, because we love it up there. Where else can you go and catch 100+ big fish in a day?
Anytime you want to come up, just let me know.